Welcome to another Blueprints playthrough. Why I talk like that, I don't know. Part 27. I was thinking about where I am in the game, and honestly, I don't even know like how much more I have to do. I know there's so many more things to do. I was thinking about today. First of all, I'm glad I'm taking a break for the weekend. Tomorrow, I have a 3-day weekend, so I have off tomorrow. And the plan is to, to play Alien Isolation, the 2026 run, and have fun doing that over the next 3 days. So I hope people stop by to check that out and hopefully not see my face being smashed in by an alien inner jaw. So there's that. And sorry if I'm eating some chips, but crunch, crunch, crunch. The other thing I've been thinking about too is maybe I just stop the series and move to another game and play this more online and try to do things like maybe on a night that I'm not streaming and just try to see if I can get more things offline. Just because I'm not getting bored of the game, but it's like, how often can you do runs like this? I don't know. I feel like how many more times do I try to do something like this? And it might make it go a little bit quicker if I am not concentrating on streaming and doing the talking thing or whatever. Because, when you're streaming, you don't want to just sit here like... Because that would be really, really boring. I would find that boring. So... And yeah, there's sometimes like when I'm doing a coding stream or a gaming stream, there sometimes I'm concentrating, but at least something's happening, but I try to keep conversation alive. I try to keep talking. I try to keep doing something, anything, We'll do that. But yeah, I've thought of things that I could do. I think I made a little bit of a mistake with the chess. I'm not going to keep track of the chess pieces right now. Although it might be a good idea just to do that, because if I do get a complete chessboard, I might want to pick the armory. I thought about it later and I'm like, I think I made a slight... hold on, let me get my chessboard set up here. I think I made a slight miscalculation. There we go. Just so I can say I got armory. What's funny is that your powers from the chessboard are permanent until you change them, which I thought was kind of a funny way of saying, well, they're not really permanent, because if you change, do you lose? I think when it says complete your directory. Well, the armory, I don't know what that is, but that would be an extra thing. If it's now taken away, do you really complete it? Do you need that there to complete the thing? So anyway, I'll keep track of it because it's simple. It doesn't take much. You probably have a pawn in here. Yep, you always have a pawn. I think the dining room... I should write down, now that I think about it. Yeah, don't. I just want to write where I think the pieces typically show up. And like with the pawn, it's usually dining room. has been typically the nook. Queen is a study. Bishop has been the hell is the name of that thing again? It's one of the red rooms. Chapel. And king, I think, was office, but I'm not quite sure about that. I don't know if there was a standard one for knight, but I know I've seen it in some rooms, so. Anyway. I think I said for games like Silksong that were taking forever, I'm like, well, maybe I'll try to go back to it and do, like, if there's DLC, I'm sure I'll play the DLC or something like that, but I never did. This one I don't think I would completely abandon, because I might just play it on my own time and then give occasional updates to people when I'm streaming and playing other games. Because there's no violence. Well, the armory, maybe we're going to get guns and shoot people. I don't know. 14-year-old, that would be really cool. But I don't know if this is like, well, I don't know. I have the really strong feeling that this is not a hard game to pick up again, you know, or just sorry. I inhaled a chip piece. Dear Lord. Oof. That was fun. We'll do bedroom. Another key. Nice. And you have a pawn too, but I don't care because I know where a pawn is. I don't know if the... Has the mirror always never been there and I just never noticed? Like, I don't think it has any kind of... I don't know. I probably am way overreading that, but... Well, I don't lose. I get 30 with Chapel, so... Look at that. Oh, and that stays that way. That's even better. Nice. Well, if I could get to the room 46, there's a thing about 100 coins. I wonder if I walked into that room with 100 that it would actually do something. I don't think it would, though. Yep. Look at that bishop. Okay. Enough crunching. Let's do Den, because that gets me a gem. I think the Den also always has a pawn. No. Don't write pawn under the list of things, list of rooms that have pawns. We want to put the word den here, Jason. Dear Lord, that chip. Take care, boys and girls, when you're eating chips, drinking chips. Put them in a blender. Yeah, then you have to worry about, you know, choking on things. That's right, we can grab a gem here. Okay, you have a pawn. I think the drawing room always has a pawn too. I think. I don't think the green rooms. Maybe the one that I got recently. What is that one? Dear Lord. may need to get a drink. Oy. Okay. The morning room. That might, because that's actually kind of like a room in and of itself. Still, it may contain a chess piece. I don't know. Okay. Piety of the bishop. Piety of the bishop. Whatever. Pool hall. Let's do more complicated math. Unfortunately, I don't know what these are yet. 18 wavy 4 or 18 double wave. What is that? But why 20? Like, I do have some notes on these things, so I want to make sure that. Well, I did. Where are they? Yeah, math. Okay, so 11 single wavy was 10. 11 blue. Double wavy was 20. Why? We don't know. Ten. 10 times 14 is 140. I'm going to say 17. Nope. Like, what is that? If it's 10 divided by 14, it's okay. 10, because I'm just writing the sequence down because 3 plus 2 is 5. It's 6. No, it's not. Of course it's not. So wait, 6 plus 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. Yeah, and then I think the silver line is a rounding. By the way, we're apparently going to get thunderstorms, so if things just completely die, well, that's why the stream died, because power went out. I don't know, but I'm just giving y'all heads up. Security is always a good thing to have. Especially since we don't have... No, 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 get in there. I feel like every time I play the game, as long as I find something new or different to do, then it feels like it's worth it. Which I get. It's not going to happen every single time, but it would be kind of nice. All right. Let's just keep going up. You got a shovel for me? No, no shovel. Well, that's disappointing. Damn it. I know I've got a key or two down, but that would give me 2 more keys. That would be nice. We still got to get the Reading Nook key. Let's do storeroom. That's fine. And I do think storeroom also does have a pawn every time. I don't think as a swan I should flip this anyway, just in case. You never know. No, that's right. I can hold to skip. Let's do a hallway, because that gives me another key. I don't think the hallways have chess pieces. I've noticed that. Commissary would be nice, just in case I want to, I might get a shovel. I want to draft a room that has 2 more gems, though. No, you don't have a shovel. Why would you have a shovel? Let's get another gem. The metal detector. Sledgehammer. Let's get another couple of gems. Salt shaker. Sure. Okay. Which way do we want to go? Well, I can't go storeroom. We can't go up hallway. Courtyard might give us a shovel. Yes, it does. Nice. With a rock. Nice. And then the 2 gems. Okay. Well, let's keep heading up. Oh, we skipped doing observatory. Let's do passageway, because that actually gets us another star. And that gets a successful experiment. Ooh, planetarium. I don't think we've done that. Hold on, we're going to do that. We're going to walk in there. study. Let's do that, because then we can confirm that the queen goes there, which I'm, again, almost positive. Let us do the boiler room. Okay. So we still have dirt paths to unpick. Well, what is this? It is moving. I wonder if you have to wait for all these to converge or something. That'd be kind of interesting. Does this have like a special compartment? Oh, there's something here. We'll have to read that. Any one of these chairs have something special? So, does their planetary, their solar system just have 5 planets on it? And what would be the significance of that, if anything? Because you do see Saturn, you do see, well, a ringed planet, which you could assume would be the equivalent of Saturn. Maybe that's Jupiter. And then you have Mars. And then what's inside Earth there? Is that Mercury? But they don't have the other planets there, which is interesting. Again, why? Why is there a space here with stars? I think I went to one planetarium when I was a kid as like a field trip. It was kind of interesting. Star schedule. Oh. Okay. I mean, kind of interesting to know. But, you know, at the same time, it's like, well, I know this already. I'll take pictures of this, but... No, not that. Okay. I am sure there is something to this. I'm sure there is a puzzle to unravel and a key to unlock and something significant to this room. What it is, I have no idea. We can't sit down in any of the chairs. Anything behind the chairs? Nope, we can't go behind the chairs. So. All right, well, we went to the planetarium, and we got to remember to call it a day in there if we can, because that would give us 2 extra stars. Yep, study always has a queen. You're beeping about something. Oh, magnifying glass. If only I could get, what was it, the battery? Or what was it? It was, I wrote it down in my other set of notes. Which, yes, I've always said I'm going to transfer these, but I know I never will. It was a metal detector. Okay. The metal detector and the magnifying glass gives us the light things on fire. Okay. And we got our food. Yippee! Lots of dirt piles down here. Nice. Okay. So we do have the magnifying glass and we do have the metal detector. If we could make a workshop, we could go, but we need a pump room because otherwise we can't get over to push the cart. God, I regret that so much. What? No, don't go down. Go this way. We'll do pantry. Which way do we want to send it? I mean, we can always come back and redo it. Add salt to an apple. You know, I just don't think that's right. Okay, I think the observatory always has a night. And so I'm starting to think that every room has the same chess piece, which is good. So they can, you know, which is why when I was doing this, I was like, why are the pieces always different? Well, it's just because they're in the room they're always in. You just have to get the room to show up. And knowing which rooms have what is nice. They're extra delicious, yummy, yummy. Okay. Oh, that's closed again. That's interesting. So that one doesn't stick. That one actually... Well, the run is not over. We just would need a key to get up here, so... And we have places to go to get keys. Okay, so we can't make any more progress that way. But we need to be on the lookout for dirt piles. And we'll get steps, and then we can go up Reading Nook and Parlor and go that way. So, run is definitely not over. Oh, and we can now do the piles in here. An old tin can that I turn into... You know, if you get the lockpicks, you'd think that, like, if you keep doing them, you should get, like, better at it. You know, like, your skill level goes up with the lockpicks. And I don't know if the lockpicks always work on some doors for rooms, but not others. Or if it's just completely like, what's the probability? Okay, there won't be one in there, I don't think. There might be one in there. Since we have to go down the pool hall, let's just look quick. Yes, there is. I thought there would be. And nothing. Okay. So we'll go through this, go through pool hall. I don't... Sometimes it does put a dirt pile, I think, in pool hall. Drawing room, we did not go that way, so we could try. Foyer. Oh, that'd be another star. Ding, ding. Okay. We can go down to den. Just running through the rooms real quick because I do get, do I get another 30? No. There were dirt piles in here, though. be nice if they got other books. You know, that would be cool. I don't think there'd be a dirt pile in the bedroom. All right, let's sweep on up through bedroom. We'll get dining room. We'll get our food. And we have boiler room, so we get 30 steps. Nice. And seasoned. Cool. All right. Let's do reading nook. Nook always has the rook, because, you know, play on words. He. Oh, an apple, and they're extra delicious with salt, too. That's why, to me, building up your allowance is so good, because you can start with more money, and that's more power for the day. So I think that's a good thing. Okay, so the parlor has a pawn. But, folks, we know what time it is. And what time is that? Let us reason. Okay. Oh my God. The white box has exactly one true statement. The black box has no true statements. The gems are not in the black box. The above statement is true. The blue box has exactly one true statement. The gems are in the book. Jesus. Oh my God. Okay, so the blue box has exactly one true statement. The white box, the black box has no true statements. My guess is that they're going to be in the blue box, because that's the only thing that tells you where they would be. And if it was wrong, well, then they wouldn't be in there. And then if this says it's true, then they could be in the white box. So let's say that this is true. The white box has exactly one true statement. The black box has no true statements. Well, there's no false true to this. This is just false, because we would assume this is true, so that would make this false. Has no true statements. Well, we don't know. The blue box has exactly one true statement. The gems are in the blue box. I'm just going to go with my gut and say white. Inconceivable. That's what I say. I bet it's blue. I don't know. I kind of rushed that. And I should have not, because I'm probably going to... I need to... Oh, well. Okay, so Mr. Rumpy doesn't speak anymore. But that would let us get 8 coins. The vault would be nice. And I bet I'm going to get a vault key. You know what? I can't. We're going to do bedroom closet. I would have liked to get... That gets us a key. Nope. So we got a key. We should go outside because we're close, and then we can go back up. Because there's the one root cellar that has all of the crap. So let's do that. Let's go to root cellar and let's dig those up. And then let's hey, had my birthday yesterday. Went cool. Happy birthday. Happy 29th birthday. And yes, what do you think of Project Hail Mary? I loved it. I thought it was just a great movie. You know, just And I had read the book before, and I thought, it was pretty close, just like The Martian. You can't do it verbatim, but it does the story well, and it's a great visually. It's stunning at times. It's just like, holy crap. Like the scene where they're on when they're trying to get the astrophage from Adrian. Seeing that in IMAX, I would bet that would be stunning to watch. A turnip with salt. We are definitely not hurting for steps, so that's good. We do have two more. We have two keys. One of them, we have two keys, and one of them is a silver key. If we get the we're gonna get one more key. If we get the ability to make the torch, I really need the pump room. Yeah, that ambient soundtrack movie really helped with the experience. Never gave my age. You're way off the guess. Okay, 19. I'm joking. I would venture to guess. My guess would be is that you're definitely older than that, because I was joking. No, we did grab that key. Okay, we don't need to go in there. Okay, so we do need to go up, over, and around. Okay. You don't need to tell me your age, but I would imagine we are. My guess would be we're probably similar in age. Ooh, an apple with salt. Okay, so we want to go through den and then the foyer. If we can't do that, then we can go up to courtyard and boiler room. Yeah, right, foyer. Okay. Again, I don't think any of the hallways have chess pieces, so. It distracted me from the annoying two people sitting behind me. There's so many available seats, I chose to sit behind me, couldn't lean back as much. Huh. Did you have like reserve seating, or did you I'm gonna do wine cellar because I want the gems, so, and there might be a dirt pile in there. Oh, a map. Hey, we can dig shit up. Might get some gems, you never know. And I think we have that. 5-1. Yes, we do. That's Secret Garden. Nice. Okay, cool. Well, we have to basically go back up that way, so let's go dig. And then pool hall. Wait. No, I would have metal. Food everywhere. Banana with salt. I bet they made this and they realized that's what was going to happen when you do things like spread things around. I must have picked something that spread food around. I just don't remember what it was. But it doesn't matter. It's just funny that when you get that, it's like, yeah, banana and salt. What a combination. All right, so somewhere in here I got to dig. Oh. Theory went too loud. You decide where to sit before you buy your tickets. Yeah, most places do that, but I'm like, if there's available seats, to me, it's like, I would have just moved. Nice. Gems and coins. Perfect. All right. Let's keep moving. Let's keep this flow going. We don't have a key card, so we can't get up through Foundation. But we can go through, well, Boiler Room and Observatory are really it. So let's, actually I want to read something real quick. Oh, so we do have courtyard, yeah, okay. Cigar and spreads for okay. Clock tower. I'd love to do music room because it gets us another star. But what I really want to do is clock tower because I want to see more of... Because I'm almost positive there is a sanctum key in here somewhere. I just don't know how. Or what you do to get it. Hello, thunder. Anything on here? Anything on this? Click, 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 click. Nope. Okay. Spread fruit. Yeah, okay. I just missed it. I didn't remember offhand which one did what. Okay. Just looking around. Okay, so clock has a rook. Which reminds me. I could put the rook in the nook. Or here. So I just need the king and... Well, I know where the queen is, too. That's in the... No, not the king. That's in the study, so that's right here. Okay. One of those clocks is not like the other. Yep, yep, shh, be quiet. I ain't getting it. I know. I'm betting. You're right. Well, this one looks different. Okay, so we got the broken handle. Could be useful. Well. What? Whoa! It would be nice to get the library because then I could read that book and see, because I have the magnifying glass right now too. Oh, I didn't get that thing this time. I've taken a picture of that. Yeah, one of these is not like the other, I agree. But that opened. I want to see what that is. So it's like if you come in here at the right time, or you're in here when it's like 1:30, then... Oh, that just opened. Wait. No, that... Wait, I'm going the wrong way. Duh, here. Okay, Jesus. Ooh, another set of steps. This is very reminiscent of Outer whatever. Oh my God. Each of these clocks should be set to a different time. 5 of these clocks should be set to a time ending on the hour. Set this clock to a time containing all different numbers. Well, if we go with the... Yeah, enjoy this puzzle. Thanks. If we go with the rule that blue is generally is true and red is false unless it's written by hand, then... Because this one's like, set this clock to a time containing all different numbers. Well, I guess you could. You could set it to like... to all different numbers, but what the hell does that mean? It's maybe you set it to the same number, whatever. This clock's neighbor should both be set to a time containing a 7. Okay. This clock should not be set on the hour. Yes, it should, and that would be one of the 5 here then. None of these clocks should be set to times that contain the number 1, 2, 3, or 4. That would be 10, 11, and 12 as well. This clock should be set to a time that contains the same 3 numbers of another clock here, but in reverse order. So if you set something to 9, 12, well, to like 9:07, it should be 7:09. And yeah. And this would be true. The clocks are positioned so that their times will go up in ascending order. And this would be true. Okay, well, this is going to be fun. I get how this works. It's just going to be fun to try to get them to be... I'm going to write some of this out because I think it's going to be important to solving this. Well, obviously, but... And I bet if you solve this, you get a sanctum key. Okay, so what we have here are 8 clocks, of course, because you have to have 8. So we're going to say that there is 1, 2, 3, and then there's 4, 5, 6, and then there's, breaking my lead, 7 and 8. And then I can write down what these all mean. 1. Each of these clocks should be set to a different time. This I'm going to just write down as true right away because I don't want to look at the colors. Each clock should be set to a different time. Okay. 5 of these. God damn it. Well, actually, I'm going to write these out as if they are all true, rather than trying to deduce the logic as I'm rereading these, because that would be painful. 2. 5 of these clocks should be set to a time. And ending on the hour. 3. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you want to like, that's good too. But this is going to take me some time. Set this clock to a time containing all different numbers. So set this clock to a time containing all same numbers, which almost makes this 111 or 1111. Right? Four. This clock's neighbor should both be set to a time containing a 7. Well, I guess no. If I'm looking at the 3, that could be like 202, 33, 44, you know, or 444, you know. You can't do, well, you could do this with 7-7 if you wanted to. 7 a.m. or 7, however you want to say it, containing a 7. But it's that ascending thing that's going to be interesting. This clock should be set on the hour. Six. None of these clocks come on. Spell, Jason. English. Should be set to times. That contain the number 1, 2, 3, or 4. Huh. 1, 2, 3, or 4. This clock should be set to a time that contains the same 3 numbers of another clock here, but in reverse order. Jeez. Which means 7 can't be set on the hour. Because how would you do, like, if one was 2 o'clock, how would you do this in reverse? Because it's 12. To a time. That also means you can't do 12 p.m. or 12, whatever you call that, because that has a 1 and a 2 in it. That contains the same 3 numbers of another clock. And 3. But in reverse order. 8. And 8 will be true. The clocks are positioned so that their times will go up in ascending order. So that their times will go up I'm sorry, ascending, not reverse, in ascending order. Okay. We got the rules. I'm taking off the hoodie because I need to getting a little warm down here in my office, so okay. So if I look at the clocks now, if I say, like, what would clock 1 be and 2 be? let us reason and think about this before I actually try to change any of these. Okay. So they have to go up in ascending order. And each clock should be set to a different time. 5 of these clocks should be set to a time ending on the hour. Set this clock to a time containing all same numbers. This clock's neighbors should both... Wait, that one's a little... Neighbors, yes. Well, that makes this interesting because... well, no, that's... So 5... Okay, 5 has to be 7... Yeah, we could do that. Let's do that. Five has to be 700. And the reason why is because it needs to be set on the hour, so that satisfies one of them. Clock's neighbors should both be set. Both of them should be set to a time containing a 7. Now, it doesn't say anything about 4 otherwise, just its neighbors. 3 says it needs to be a time containing all numbers. So that would have to be... if it contains a 7... Well, it has to contain all the same numbers. Now the last one says the clocks are positioned so that their times will go up in ascending order, but it doesn't... Does that mean left to right, or can you do right to left as well? Containing all different numbers, but it needs to be same numbers. And if it's supposed to, if both should be set to a time containing a 7, and it needs all the same numbers, the only way that I think you can do this is if you say, that 3 is 707. But if the one to the other side of it needs to be on the hour and it needs to contain a 7, the only way to do that is to make it 7 o'clock. So do you go ascending order the other way? Otherwise, I don't see how you can do this. And you can't make 4 then... it has to be, because of the other rule about not wanting 1, 2, 3, or 4, it has to be a 5 or a 6. And it has to be like 705 or 706. Now again, this might also be the way that you interpret things. Like, this one is 707. There's a 0 in it. Set this clock to a time containing all different numbers. Well, if it needs, and we're assuming that's false because it's red, so it's got to be true. So the truth of it is set a clock to a time containing all, well, okay. Doesn't have to be same. the falseness of that is set this clock to a time containing, well, all different numbers. You could just say 607. Could be some different numbers. Which again, because of 5 being, it has to be 7. It has to be 7 o'clock. There's no way to get around it if we're following the rules of the coloring and the things like that. There's no way to get around that. So but do you read that as the opposite of it is all same numbers? Because you can't do 777. Is 0 considered, you know, with the time to be part of the numbers? Yeah, so this one needs to be 7. And again, if I'm understanding this right, they need to be ascending order. They got to go ascending this way. Now we only have one that's on an ascending on the hour. And this one could, but no, we said we can't, because if they're ascending and this is 7 and this is going to be 7 7, this needs to be 7 5 or 6, because we can't use 1 2 3 or 4. And it can't be on the hour because this one is on the hours. So we have 2 here. We have 1 2 3 4. So the rest of these, 4 out of the 5 need to be on the hour. Now, if this one needs to be constrained to being at least 5, right? Because it can't have an 11, a 21, a 31, or a 41, because all those have that. So it's got to be at least 55. Okay, so one has to be at least 55. Again, if we're it could be on the hour, right? Because 0 0 can't count for the 1 2 3 and 4, but does it count for similar? I don't. This is where interpreting the rules of this game is really hard, because how clear is the truthiness of their statements. This could be on the hour. This clock should be set to a time that contains 3 numbers of another clock here, but in reverse order. Well, this see, you can't be at 12 o'clock. Okay, so this, what I'm saying is this can't be on the hour because to a time the same numbers of another clock here, but in reverse order. Now this could be 607, right? if we make that 7:06. But we hit a conundrum. Because we're not going to have enough clocks that... No, we could do that. We could make... Yeah, we could make the first one 5 o'clock. So it's 5:06:07. Now this could be... Shit. This should be on the hour. Wait, I'm putting these in the wrong spot too, damn it. Five, 0, 0 here. And then this one is 6:07. We still have the problem then that does it consider 12 o'clock to be before or after? Based on the rule of 4, this clock's neighbors should both be set to a time containing a 7. But 3 says set this clock to a time containing all same numbers. Which, if you're not considering zeros, would have to be 7. 7, 7. 7 hour, 7 minute. If we're not considering the zeros. Otherwise, there's no other way to do it, because you can't have 7 hours and 77 minutes. Even though this is going to read as 7:07, I don't know how else you can interpret this. Unless, again, you're supposed to read this as set this clock to a time containing some different numbers, but not all different numbers. But this clock's neighbor should be set to a time containing a 7. That makes this, and this has to be on the hour. So that has to be 7. We could make this 7:05. Because then it lets this one be 5:07, which is the reverse of them. And then it lets 6 be a 0 on the hour clock. And lets it be 6. So then we have 5. No, they got to go up and... Damn it. No, we want to change this to be a 5. So we have 5, 5:07, 6, 7, 7:05, 7:07. And now these can be 8 and 9 p.m. So what's 6 again? 6 o'clock. So this has to be 8, and this has to be 9. There's no other way to do it. Well. Ah, fuck. Nope. It doesn't work. Do we have these at least right? 9, 8. This has to be 707. This has to be 705. This is 7. This is 6. This is 507, and this is 5. So it goes in ascending order. But I didn't hear anything change or any magical bullshittery happen. So I highly doubt that's right. We're just going to come up here and see if anything did change. Yeah, this one is not changing at all, so that's the hint that at 1:30 matters. Well, that didn't work. Five has to be on the hour and both be set to a time containing a 7. The only way is for 5 has to be this. We know 5 has to be 7 o'clock. This is one I might just look up because I don't want to sit here for hours on end to do this again. Set this clock to a time containing all different numbers. That would be false. We know it's a false statement. So set this clock to a time containing some different numbers. Maybe one is ascending and then left to right. Well, yeah, that's what I agree. I agree. That's what I thought too. But the problem is this clock here, because it's saying a time containing all different numbers. Well, maybe it just means set it to some different numbers. And basically the way I would interpret that is that it needs to be like 5:57. And then this could be 5 and this could be 4. So we get 4, 5. This would be 5:57. Now we could make this 6, because then that gets us another on the hour. And then this is 7. Now we could make clock 7. We could make that 7:55. And then we could make 6 7:50. 1, 2, and that would give us. Okay. So if I do it the other way, and I'm assuming that the falseness is it just means set to a clock containing some different numbers, but not where they're all different. So this is some. One of them is different than the other two, but two are still the same. So doing like 6:57 would be invalid because that's saying they're all different. So only some or none, I guess is the way to say it. And since you need a number to be 7, and we can't have 1, 2, 3. Oh crap! That can't be a 4. That's got to be a 5. That's got to be a 6. Shit. Well, we could make this 5, like, can't be 30, can't be 40, it can be 550. This could still be 557. Now we have, wait. Then this would be 550. This one's 557. This is 6. 7. This could be 750. But now we need this to be 755. Now, there's a problem because we no longer are able to get 5 on the hour. But, again, 5 has to be on the hour, and it has to start with a 7. So you're going to have 2 clocks underneath it that could be on the hour, but not all of them. This one we have is 5. This one is 550 because it goes up. This is 557. This is 6, 7, 750. Well, this is 755 because it's the reverse of 557. Now we could do this and make this 8 or 9, it doesn't matter. But we're running, we ran out of on the hours. So again, we can't make this 4 because you cannot, none of these clocks should be set to a time that contain the numbers 1, 2, 3, or 4. So we can't have this be 4 o'clock. It has to be 5 o'clock. And because this has to be 7 o'clock, if we could get a 6 o'clock, which we do, one of these, this clock should be set to a time that contains the same three numbers of another clock but in reverse order. Okay, I'm stuck. And I don't want to keep saying you have to do like this, you have to, but I cannot see how this can be anything other than 7. And going the other way didn't seem to work. So if you start here, the earliest you can start is 5 o'clock. And you need 5 clocks on the hour. So you can't start it at 12. You can't start it at 1, 2, 3, 4. It has to be 5. Now I could make this 5:08, then I could make this one 8:05. But I don't know how to then get your 5. The clocks are positioned so that it looks like the only flexible clock to change might be the second one. Yes, I understand that. But I don't know how to get it so that we get something that's greater than 7 here and ends up being on the hour. Well, unless... Wait. No. If we could get this to be 8 o'clock, then we would have another one, and then we could make this one, that's a 9. So that would at least get us... No, that has to say 7 o'clock. And then this could be 9 o'clock. But the problem is clock 7. Because that needs to be between 8 and 9. And it needs to be reverse of another clock. Oh. I think I got it. No, wait, that stays there. I think I got it. Hold on. So we start at 5. and this is 8:05. I am smart. I did not look that up. Bang, bang, bong, boom, baby. Yeah. So your solution is 5 o'clock, 5:08, 5:57, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8:05, and 9 o'clock. All right, so we got that puzzle solved. So we have to remember to give enough steps to, we did the treasure map. We can still do boiler room and observatory. So we still got some things to look at. But then we can at least go downstairs and do the, do another sanctum key. Nice. Okay, so at least we accomplished something in this stream. That's always a good thing. So we have one key and we have one silver key. That gets us another star. Okay. And then let's go up to the observatory because we could gymnasium lets us actually get to the room 46, but we don't have enough money. Treasure trove would let us get enough money, but it would not let us get into the antechamber. And you could say, well, maybe you go through vestibule and maybe that one door is open, so maybe you get lucky enough to go on the east side, and maybe you get something that will let you open the door from the east side. I don't have any more keys though, but the vestibule doors that are open don't require locks. So I have that going for me. Spare bedroom could give a key. God, if I could just get treasure trove, if it just went straight through, that would be so nice. But it doesn't. And we could still get office. If we get office, we could get that other drawing thing. So there is that. Oh, yeah, I could do spare bedroom and then break the chapel because that has the piggy bank and I have enough 100. So since I'm going to go downstairs anyway, and again, this might be a mistake, this, you know, because you can only do the chapel thing one time, but my gut is telling me that because there's a note in there about 100 in room 46 about having 100 something. And I think I took a picture of it. So hold on, let me go back to Steam here and let me go to my recordings and screenshots. Because I want to see, did I take a screenshot of that? I probably did not. Ironically, I took a screenshot of this one that doesn't have a head. Yeah, I took a whole bunch of screenshots in the office, but not of the that one note that I'm looking for. And I don't remember if I wrote it down or not. I can look quick. Um, because there is a note in room 46 that talks about something about a ransom and 100. Though I'd really hate to waste the coins that are in the that was a ransom payment. You don't need to break the piggy bank. Pay by ransom for something that much. Yeah, I know. I just was wondering if it was like a. And again, I guess I wasn't really asking for a hint, but I was more just interested in like what was the 100 for. So anyway, it doesn't matter. I won't do it anyway. Oh, I gotta. Sorry. Okay, and then I've got to bring focus to blueprints. There we go. Okay, so we could go through vestibule and see if that one door is open. If it's not, well, then we still have a sanctum key. So, and we could go back up through antechamber. You know, we could go down. No, we can't go down through foundation because we don't, at least not yet. Wait, did you? I wasted steps. You don't have. And I'm always going to say, oh, I've got plenty of steps. And then you get to the point where it's like, God, do I have enough steps to do this? Oh, office. And that gets me another star. And it lets me go down. And this always has the king. Yippee! I'm going to get the armory. I'm going to get the armory. All right, cool. So we have to remember to... the office... Yeah, it has the opportunity to earn and spread money. I don't really know if I got 81. I don't really know if that's helpful right now to do that, but it gives me a gem. Better not forget that. Okay, let's see what we can get going down here. Ooh, a library. I have the magnifying glass. Get a coupon book. I'm just going to get the other book and order again, and maybe someday the stars are going to align and I'm going to be able to get a new clue with the magnifying glass. But you never know. All right, where do we go with this? Locked. Okay, well, but we're going to go to, and if you wanted to change your chess piece. Right. That's what I want to go down there because I want to change it to get the armory. Right now I have Piety of the Bishop. So I want to not break the bank, and I want to go basically out now, and I have more than enough steps to do it. And use the sanctum key, and then also do the chess puzzle, and then by that time, I think I'm going to be done with this run. Wow. A stream taking that long. That's quite interesting. And yes, I could get another key for library, and I could store my magnifying glass, you know, but I'm also looking at my time, so... because these two won't go anywhere. Yeah. You'll be locked. And the fourth one becomes locked. I think I know what that means, but I'm not going to fuck with that. I want to get out of here and do what I came here to do, which is we want to go through passageway. Oh, and it would be nice to get up to planetarium if I can. I got to keep that in mind too. To end the run, call it a day in that room. Got to remember that too. I got the detector. I don't really need a gem. So, all right, go out security. Do this before the thunderstorms actually get here. We want to go through Den and then Chapel. Yeah, I wonder if you're in Planetarium at a certain point of the day that the stars align above it or something. If you stay in there at night. I wonder if there's something like that in the game. Okay, so again, we want to go downstairs. We want to put the Sanctum key in something. All the things not to have are the shoes. Oh, no, wait, No, I don't. I was like, yeah, I don't have the shoes. You got to move that cart back at some point. By the way, that's set up right now. Okay, cool. For a second, I'm like, was there a dirt pile there? No, there wasn't. If we don't get the Planetarium, wait, could you get the other Sanctum key in the safe house? If you're giving me another hint, I don't know what you mean by safe house. Okay, we got these doors. I'm going to do 7, because why not? In the reservoir. I got that. No, I got the key from all the boxes. Could you get the other Sanctum key in the safe house? I don't even know that there was one in there, so thank you, I guess. Okay, so we're going to do room 7. Draw myself a nice big circle. I meant the tunnel and reservoir. Where the boat can go in the reservoir, I mean the tunnel and the reservoir. I have no idea what you're talking about. So we found this key. This is key 3. Not that it matters, but I just want to write these down. Okay. So we're going to go into 7. And this is... Well, we know it's... It's Vera. It's just turn, but it's Vera. Okay, so we can't... I don't think we have enough information, or we might, and I don't know where it is, but that's okay. We've got 4 at least open now. We do have the antechamber open, so I might want to get back there, because I do want to try to get to planetarium, because that'd be nice to start with, what is that, 2 stars, or gain 2 stars. And I would like that. So when I go back to the reservoir, you'll see what I mean. Okay, so you're saying, yeah, in there, but I'm assuming this is where you mean for me to go, and I am watching my time because I am on a clock here, literally. I can skip. No, I think I grabbed this, didn't I? I thought I used this Sanctum key already. Because there was one there. I think I grabbed it already. If that's what you're referring to. That's where the okay. First found here in the furthest room, that's key 1, and then key 4 is down below beneath all the docks. Key 6 in a station left by one of your own. That's the one we got. Yeah. That's key 6. So you owe me steps. We'll have enough. We'll have enough. Because of the minecart, yeah. Okay, so now we need to go up and around, and we need to do the chessboard because I want the armory. And then we're going to go up to the antechamber because I just want to see stuff. Not that it matters, but we should have enough steps to do everything that I'm thinking of. We don't have the cart, so I can't call up the I am kind of curious, and this is something, chat, go ahead and tell me, but can you like go all the way through a day to the next day, and does it then like force you to go to sleep? Or what does it do? Does it basically stay at nighttime? I know it's like only one way to find out. I could try, but I'm more curious of just somebody telling me than, you know. And it has nothing to do with the planetarium and sitting there until like you reach a certain time at night where the stars align. Because I got the feeling that might be something to that room as well. But I don't know. What I'm more curious about though is, can you actually go through a whole day? Okay, so let's put the pawn there. And now let's take the horsey and put him all the way up here. And then let's take the bishop, and bishop goes there. And then the king goes here. And then the queen right next. And then the rook goes there. Ask that question before it doesn't happen. You're not forced to end the day when 24 hours elapse. Okay. Alright, so I can put these away. Because I'm almost done with this stream. What we want is the night. Yes. We now have Mantle of the Night. Okay, last thing to do here real quick is let's go all the way back up to Antechamber and then try to end in... So you're not forced to end the day, but then does it go to like, does it keep doing day and night if you stay on the same day? And again, only one way to find out. I could sit here and just like one day and just sit outside and watch the time pass. But I'm more curious about what it does. Okay, so we gotta go to the bedroom. We'll gain 2 steps. And then through here, and then through here. And then we want to go through a drawing room and this way. And this way. And then, doesn't matter, secret garden. This way. And then courtyard all the way up to boiler. And then boiler, we go to pantry, observatory. And then we can go in here. Yes, I could grab this key, but I don't need it. But I'm going to grab it anyway, because you never know when you need the basement key. Now, like I said, one thing I noticed. Yes, let's grab this. Yippee! Because Marigold is gone. I still don't know 8 realms in 8 months. I don't know where the push pins go. There's the red Dur. Let's just look over this. Is there some hidden message in here? Even more secret? No. Maybe. Possibly. Okay, nothing really of interest. There's not a chess piece in here, is there? Because, well, you wouldn't matter because you couldn't put it on the board anyway because it doesn't fit here. So, okay. So let's go out of here. We're out of here. It's so funny. The first time I did Room 46, I was like, oh, this is going to be so amazing. And then, yeah, like somebody said, I think it was Pingvino, said, it's almost like the tutorial's over and now the fun begins. All right, so we're here in all the pretty stars. And I'm going to do one last trick. Not trick, but check. We can't get the foundation. We can't do anything else. Library, we don't have a key. So we are done. But we did a lot. Now, this is a long stream for one day. So this was a lot. We got the Mantle of the Night. We got another Sanctum key. We figured out the clock tower. And with no cheating, I used my brain to figure that out. We got more stars. We got 4 successful triggers. I can't. I just realized if... Well, no, I could go to office and unlock it. Shit. Yeah, I could. No, I can't. Because, yeah, I can. No, I can't. Because security went to... I did the experimental laboratory. I can't get to the... well, no, if it's... Yeah, hold on. Hold on. I can. I'm going to be close on steps, so I got to watch this. But if I can bank something... No, yes? No, I can't. No, I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do. That's okay. Because I can't get the shelter. That's what I really want. It's offline. Yeah, because you can only do one. Laboratory is what sets up the experiment. The shelter is what checks the levels. And that's what I wanted to do. But I had enough steps to try this anyway. So no big deal. No big whoop. Yes, that's my alarm going off. As your get your butt in gear, Jason. Warning. All right, now I am truly well done. I have to stop anyway. So we are going to call it a day. Well, we got more stars. We got a sanctum key from the clock tower puzzle. Yeah, we got more stars. We got the sanctum key, and we got the mantle of the night. So now I have the. Can you actually move over that? Yeah, you can. Add the armory to your draft pool. So I'm kind of curious. Can you see that now? No, you can't. That's interesting. Wait. Maybe it's because I haven't even had it offered up yet that I can't. Which makes sense, because like room 46 is the armory. Like bedrooms. I know there's the master bedroom, but I've never actually picked it, so maybe it doesn't show up until you pick it. That could be. We're still missing one of those. Unless that's the armory. Unless, yeah, maybe it's a shop, because it's... Yeah. We know the tunnel. If it's, yeah, if it's yellow, I bet it's one of those. Okay, and then we can buy guns. I don't know. But we are going to call it a day. All right, so I want to thank everybody who stopped on by and watched. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like if you'd like, but subscribe. Please do so. Tomorrow is the start of an Alien Run, 2026 Alien Isolation. We're going to be doing that all day tomorrow, probably starting around 9 or 10 in the morning. And play for a while, take a lunch break, play more, take a dinner break, probably play at night. I'll see as well. And then Saturday, probably playing after lunch, and then evening, and then Sunday. So it's how much time I need to get through everything. But that is a plan, taking a break from blueprints, getting a break from that, and moving on to an Alien Isolation, and then coming back to it next week. I don't think I'll do a coding stream on Sunday, but I might. It all depends on how far I get in Alien Isolation. But that is the upcoming plan. So with that, I need to tab out, not the Steam, but to OBS, so I can stop the stream. Thank you all for watching. Take care, and I hope to see you in the future.